Can you believe that there are some people in this world that did not tune in to the Alliance Vlog podcast? Shame on you! Shame on you! My name is Ella Indy, and I'm one half of the NWA Women's World Tag Team Champion. And I'm Kenzie Paige, the other half of the NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion. And you better go listen to the Alliance Vlog, what is it called? Podcast, period. You're ugly. Korean Power approved.
Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's the radioactive pop with Danny Limelight, United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance Vlog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from Poppy.
Hey guys, check this out. I am officially now sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink made to give you focus with no crash. If you guys are like me, you're always needing a burst of energy, especially with one with no crash. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. It keeps me awake with no jitters, guys. Check it out. Merch link is in the bio. Dubby. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the pre-party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is Jay Cowan. Each and every Tuesday, I come to you, my friends, my fellow hashtag NWA family. We are the Alliance. That's the other hashtag. Use it on your social media posts. We're here to talk NWA. We're here to get you excited, Daddy, about what's coming next for the NWA, for the National Wrestling Alliance. And we have another venture into this new era of the NWA as we say goodbye to yesterday and hello to today. We've got so much stuff happening in the NWA. Of course, we're heading towards Samhain, the big pay-per-view that's happening on October, I believe it's the 28th. Tickets are on sale now. Go to nwatix.com. I like the way you think, Lamb. Get your Alliance-Wrestling merch. Like, you could get one of these cool shirts that is so faded out that you can't see that there's a gray globe. It used to be there, but it's gone now. Wow, I didn't even notice that when I put it on today. The globe is you can faintly see it. Other cool merchandise. Shirts like this one. Or hats like this one. What do you guys think of the mask? Lay out real quick. Look at that. It's spooky for Halloween season. Don't let your eyes fool you, man. That is changing colors. Sorry, it makes me happy. And so that's why that's on. But yeah, we have hats. We have t-shirts. All kinds of cool merch. You could check it out in the video description. He did. I have to go send him a sweetheart letter. Yeah. We handed out some shirts while we were on the road. Handed out some merch to kind of celebrate our gathering. And what's really cool is I still have some friends text messaging me photos from the 75th anniversary show when I saw people wearing that shirt, and it makes my heart happy. Konnichiwa to you, Mr. Hisa. Steve G's in the house. Hey, Steve, are you going to go to the next show in Palmdale, that NTWL, I think it is? Steve G says, what's next for Pollo Del Mar? Well, if you're in the Palm Springs area, Pollo Del Mar is actually doing a Pride Wrestling event on November the 4th in Palm Springs. I got my tickets. I'll see you there. Dave Scooby's in the house. And yeah, if you guys like, comment, and share, that definitely helps out with the algorithm. It helps boost the channel's numbers. Man, without you guys, I got to be honest, our numbers have been increasing each and every week, and it's all thanks to what you guys do, how you join in the chat each and every week, how you guys have become part of this show. I was on the Alliance guys on Thursday. I was telling DKM and Jaden during the live podcast that look, guys, this isn't our show anymore. It's the collective. It's the Alliance's show. We do this as a community now. You guys help drive the conversation. So when Steve G asked me, hey, when is the next Palmdale show? I literally will jump on my Twitter machine and go to twitter.com, and I will go to, I believe it is, let me see if I can find it, NTL. Nope, that's not going to do it. Let's see. I just saw it today. Sorry, guys. I get easily distracted. What can I say? It's for you, though. It's for the it's for that Alliance family. And the next show in Palmdale is going to be Lucha Combat at it's the new, God, I can't even read their name. New Tradition Lucha Libre, Saturday, September 23rd, in Palmdale, California, 40242 La Quinta. One of the matches is already set to have Dom Kubrick, who you've seen from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, take on J2 Matoli. Other matches that I know that they have already set up. I said Lara Frazier versus Milo Matters. Last week they had last show they had Richard Holiday taking on Hammerstone. They also had Lindsay Dorado versus Loco at the last show. So make sure you check that out. That's free advertising for them. So, hey, you're welcome, guys. Lamb says J2 Matoli is the best kept secret in SoCal. I don't know very much about him. So I guess you're right, Lamb. I guess I need to go out and do some research. Sam Retro won big at the Alliance meet and greet, the Alliance Wrestling Summit, just ahead of the 75th anniversary show on Saturday. He won some t-shirts. Yeah. I do appreciate you guys. I want you to know that I say it in jokingly, but like I do mean it. This is a community that has been carried by the fan base. DKM, Jaden, myself, along with Scooby and Jeremy and Tim. We work really hard to present a fun podcast live stream that you guys can watch along with us and talk wrestling. But, the articles that Lamb writes for the website or the podcast that I do solo, all that stuff, we're trying to build up this community to give the fans a voice. Billy Corgan has famously said that he will not be booking the NWA for the fans. But it's pretty gosh darn interesting that so many of the fans were saying, "Hey, we can't do this with Tyrus anymore. We just can't. We can't do this with Tyrus anymore." Santa volunteered, left his fandom, and we said, "Hey, we need a change." And what did we get? We got EC3, and for my money, EC3 is a pretty good world's heavyweight champion. We mentioned this a couple of times already, but I'll say it again. By the time we get to the 75th, by the time we get to Samhain, the next pay-per-view, he will have already defended his title 4 times. He's got title matches lined up in Salt Lake City, Utah. You're not going to see Tyrus defend the 10 pounds of gold in Utah. Tyrus wasn't wrestling anywhere that wasn't an NWA show, where you've got EC3 showing up in Impact. Excuse me, not Impact. I take that back. He was not in Impact. Showing up in Ohio Valley Wrestling. They're about to go have their documentary series on Netflix. I think it debuts tomorrow. EC3 already has matches lined up for, of course, Exodus Pro. That's his wrestling promotion. That's understood, but he's got other matches lined up. you're going to see him. And, of course, the best place to go for your NWA news and information is alliance-wrestling.com. But on September the 23rd, if you can't make it to Palmdale to see the new traditional Lucha Libre wrestling, you've got EC3 defending against Lord Crew in Ohio. And if you can't make that show, well, then on October the 22nd for Wrestle Pro in New Jersey, Rahway, New Jersey, EC3 is taking on AEW executive Pat Buck. He's laid out the gauntlet to anybody who's listening. He said he'll defend the 10 pounds of gold in deathmatch territory, Game Changer Wrestling. He said that he will be in Salt Lake City in December for the 5th anniversary show of Detonation Championship Wrestling. Devotional Championship Wrestling, sorry. And he'll defend that title against Manny Lemons. Tonight, he's supposed to talk to Thom Latimer. He's going to call out Tommy Latimer. And I think we're going to get some news with regards to the main event for Samhain tonight. So what is up? What's going on? Are you excited? I'm excited about it. I feel, and look, man, I called up Busted Open Radio. I talked to my pal Poyle de Omar. I talked to my pal Thunder Rosa, and I can legitimately say that because they've been on podcasts with me, so I could say that they're friends of the show. Thunder Rosa, number one, I still get nervous talking to Thunder Rosa. Number two, I told them both, and Dave LaGreca, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, I told them both that everything we said that Nick Aldis was, EC3 can do that. It may be better. Who wants to argue with me on that? I'm ready to read the comments. I'm ready to read what you guys have to think about that. You could be going to Collision. Oh, speaking of which, when AEW comes out here to Los Angeles, I'll be at Collision. Your boy's got his wrestling card filled for this year. Like, I will be in Ontario, California for Raw. And guess what I'll be wearing? Something probably like this. Certainly like this. I'll put my kids in the Alliance blog gear. I'll be at the Collision. I think it's Collision and the Friday night show back to back for AEW. I'll be at both of those shows. I'm planning to be in Las Vegas for New Japan Pro Wrestling's the New Japan Strong show that they're doing out there. So I'm getting pretty excited. Let's read some of your comments because you guys are killing it on here. There's some of you guys are watching via TikTok right now, which is totally cool. I'm not ignoring you. Well, I kind of am. I'm not trying to ignore you, but the main show is at youtube.com/The Alliance Blog. Feel free to jump into the conversation. We're talking all things wrestling with the emphasis on the NWA and, of course, the United Wrestling Network. We're big fans of what Dave Marquez is doing over there. We're happy to talk about United Wrestling Network. But let's go. Let's see. Sam Retro says the last moments of Tyrus' reign was the majority of the ballroom was screaming tap. See, yes, Sam and I were screaming tap. Retro and I were saying tap, tap, tap. But there was such an overwhelming, weird dynamic of Fox News supporters who were there to watch Tyrus win. I'm not kidding, man. I'm not joking. St. Louis is a different place, brother. And, when we talk about how Tyrus's political affiliations or his time on Fox News didn't contribute to his time as world's heavyweight champion, I'm going to deny that. I'm going to say point blank, there was an audience who was there to see Tyrus, not necessarily the NWA. And you want to know how I know this? Because I put on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Alliance Blog, just the closing 3 minutes of Tyrus's goodbye to the NWA, and over 6,000 people have watched that. 6,000 people. I don't have 6,000 subscribers on my channel, guys. Hold the phone here. People were looking for Tyrus. People were looking for that Fox News wrestler. 6,000 people have watched that video. That video has made more money for me than any other video I've put on YouTube, guys. What is going on? A 3-minute video of him talking, of a poorly filmed video, is the most popular video I currently have on my channel. It's insane. But he's gone now. We don't have to worry about Tyrus anymore. He's done. We can worry about EC3 and Thom Latimer, maybe Jax Dane, maybe, who knows, maybe Adonis will get back into the title picture sooner than later. Who knows? Lamb says EC3 will defend his NWA title against UWN's Lord Cruton in the Indies. There you go, Lamb. I know you picked up on that right away. He says it was funny, interesting when EC3 showed up with the NWA title belt on OVW card and then had Dixie Carter, anti-Dixie, send a message. Yeah, that was surreal almost, right? It was kind of like because at one point Ohio Valley and Impact had a working relationship together. In fact, there was a lot of for a while there was a lot of talents coming into Impact who were direct from Ohio Valley. So it was a little strange. EC3 is a Carter, and the wrestling world needs him. Damn right, Lamb. Damn right. Dave Scooby says, could we see a battle between Billy and Dixie in the NWA? That'd be interesting. It would be interesting from the aspect that obviously they're playing off of the old Impact relationship, but really, like, Billy and Dixie had several disagreements. There were lawsuits filed. If Billy could work with Dixie, Billy could work with Dave Marquez. And if Billy worked with Dave Marquez, I think a lot of us would be happy about that. I'm getting an EC3 action figure for the collection. Yes. He signed the replica. I told you guys that, right? He signed the replica. Lamb said, Dixie took a powerbomb from Bully Ray through the table, so she has some advantage over Billy. I don't know, man. I saw Billy get in the ring on Tuesday night of those tapings, and he had a chair in his hand. That won't make TV, but it was interesting when you were there live. Media Mike is in the house. Yeah, Rampage and Collision. I have back-to-back nights now. I went knowing full well CM Punk wasn't going to be there, but I'm still hoping to see a lot of SoCal talents get that phone call, get that opportunity. Really, I'm hoping to see Samoa Joe. I'm hoping to see Scorpio Sky. And if the cards align, if Thunder Rosa's ready for an in-ring return, I'd love to see that as well. Mike says, why not the NWA? LOL. We really go into it. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm being silly, right? Why not the NWA? But like a lot of people keep talking about, where CM Punk is going to potentially go, and not that this episode of the pre-party was supposed to be about CM Punk, but why not the NWA? People talk about how Impact needs a better TV deal. Well, why not the NWA? People talk about which this talent or that talent. Why not the NWA? Earlier on the live stream on TikTok, someone mentioned Trinity. Well, why doesn't Trinity go back to the WWE? Well, why not the NWA? And I think that's becoming a viable question that maybe a couple of years ago wasn't. Why not the NWA? It's evolving. It's not what J. Cal grew up with. It's not the show that J. Cal watched 20 years ago. It's not the content that I've been covering for the last 17 years. But it is. I feel like now it's leveraged to be one of the most. It has an opportunity to take advantage of. It's the show most likely to take advantage of upcoming opportunities. I think they're leveraged in a way like they don't have an existing deal. Look, the rumor is right now that the WWE's deal with Fox, it's set to expire soon. And the rumor is that that the Fox isn't going to renegotiate with the WWE. And the talks are that the two biggest companies that could potentially land the WWE are Amazon through its Prime network, which would make SmackDown exclusive to Prime, or Disney, ABC, or ESPN. And so that it would be showcased on TV on the ABC family. So like ESPN or even maybe the ABC channel itself. That leaves a huge void for Fox. And that means that there's money to be spent. Why not the NWA, right? Why not? Yes, you're ignoring. You're just too nice to admit it. Yeah, maybe. Sam Retro says, no Dixie, please. Why not W, the official sponsor of the pre-party with J-Cal? W needs to step up their game, or we're going to have to find a new sponsor. That's for sure. Willie Bowen says, hi, J-Cal. Rest in peace, Tyrus' NWA title reign. Boom. It's done. It's not going to come back. They're not going to run it back. Sam, okay, were they talking to you? Because if they weren't talking to you, I overheard them. If maybe they didn't talk to you, maybe they were talking to somebody else. I overheard this elderly couple ask, is Tyrus wrestling tonight? And that was on night 1. And the person responded with no. And then they said, well, we got tickets for tomorrow night too. And I just started laughing, man. I'm like, it's true, man. He did draw some fans. Mike, many I spoke with recently who are indie workers with NWA contract, let's just say they're happy Tyrus is gone, and it wasn't really political for them. It was his ability. Ooh. Mike, you got to keep that on the DL, man. Keep it on the DL. What's going on, Mark? Willie says hi to his friends. Wrestling God, greetings from South Florida. Hey, what? That's my guy, Medina. Medina, welcome to the show, man. Medina was on with me on TikTok, and he's checking us out here. So welcome. Enjoy the community, brother. Punk is gone. Oh, man. See, I was excited to see Punk. I'm a Punk guy, I guess. How do we say this the proper way? And I'm not trying to lay any disrespect to anybody involved, but I think maybe Punk his generation has kind of come to an end. I still think Punk can draw an audience for any wrestling promotion, including AEW. I feel like if tomorrow Tony Khan changed his mind and wanted to rehire Punk for Ring of Honor, I think people would tune in to see him. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But that doesn't mean that Impact shouldn't consider it. That doesn't mean that the NWA shouldn't consider it, or even MLW shouldn't consider it. Of course, the WWE is going to consider it. I keep thinking about it this way, though. How much more does the needle move for the WWE? What more could it do? You're not even showing my stuff anymore. Get out of here. Showing SummerSlam. I'll get demonetized for that. James Bill says, last week, Power, 52,000 views. That is a big number when looking at past episodes. Brother, no joke. That's double what they normally have been doing. Now, in the past, you got to look at things in perspective, right? And when you go back in that way back machine prior to the pandemic, when everyone was super excited about the NWA and being in the Georgia Broadcasting Studios, man, they were doing hundreds of thousands of views on these videos. Hundreds. Now, it didn't happen in 1 or 2 days. It took roughly about a week. But 100,000 views versus 20,000 views, that's a significant drop. But if they're up and getting 52,000 views, that's telling you something, James. That's telling all of us something, that there is a renewed interest in the brand. There's a renewed interest in what they're trying to do. And number one, man, people are happy to see Tyrus. Bye. Okay. Mike says, all I know is Velvet is gone, and I will elaborate tomorrow as demonetized Mike on the other guys. Oh. Are you joining the show? I was not told of this. Wait, get my lawyer on the phone. We need to have an intervention. Willie Bowen says, CM Punk is garbage. Our new pal, Medina, says, garbage. James Scooby says, clobbering time, pay-per-view to kick off 2024. I could see them doing it too, right? That would be amazing. You guys, would that turn you off to the product? Honest answers. This is an honest question. If you are a fan of the NWA, you turn on a pay-per-view and they start talking about clobbering time with special host, special wrestler CM Punk, his debut at clobbering time, would you turn it off? I'm curious. Steve G says, seriously, ESPN should have wrestling on their network. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, they put a lot of other things that I wouldn't necessarily call sports or entertainment on their network, so I wouldn't hate that. Steve G also says SmackDown ratings will go down not being on a major network. The thing about that, though, Steve, is this. Like, think about it this way. If Amazon is paying, let's just say it's Amazon. Take ESPN out of the equation. Bezos has said that they want to win the night. If they put, especially like a Friday night, they want to win Friday nights. So they buy the rights to have SmackDown on Amazon Prime, right? WWE is getting paid. They're getting paid regardless of who's watching or not. Now, obviously with contracts like this, I'm sure there's certain measurements and certain obstacles that the WWE has to, milestones, excuse me. There has to be certain milestones that the WWE reaches in order to maintain a deal with Amazon. But right now, again, WWE is hotter than it's been in quite some time. I don't think that would be difficult to do. A lot of people are paying for Prime and not even watching the streaming service. You got to remember, Prime is attached to your Amazon membership. If you're getting free shipping, you know, you buy that you buy that lit up mannequin head on Amazon and have it delivered for free in 2 days. Like, you have Prime. If you're paying for Prime, it's already part of your package. So you could be streaming whatever content is on Amazon Prime for free. And especially like an upgrade with like WWE, if the WWE programming is there, that's a huge benefit to not only Prime members who would now get to watch SmackDown exclusively. It would put a lot of emphasis on people wanting to be subscribed to Prime. And if you were like on the window, if you're like, I kind of think about it, but at the same time, like, you know, you want your free shipping, you get free shipping and SmackDown. It's not a bad combo. It's not a bad idea, honestly. Mike says Billy can't afford Punk. So next, I don't know, man. I am not saying that Billy's going to sign Punk. I want to make that perfectly clear. But I do think that if there is one guy to go all in on, no pun intended, who better than CM Punk? Again, he has a proven track record. Despite whether you like the man or not, he's popping those ratings over there on AEW, or at least he did when he was on TV and not hurt or being suspended. But he did pop the numbers. Collision started doing well until he was removed from the program, and then the numbers started to dwindle, right? Someone tell me I'm wrong. Okay, Mike. I was just joking anyways. We've talked about it internally. I think that, you know, you might be on the short list, Mike. Are they still on YouTube? Wrestling. Who? Sorry, I'm kind of behind on comments. Who is Impact? Yes, they're still on YouTube. Is the NWA on YouTube? Yes. Sorry. That's a conversation for you and the other guys to have. I love to see Pink. Sam, brother, I love seeing Pink too, but I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. Oh, Punk. That's the best slip ever. I'd love to see Punk come to the NWA. All right. Steve G says a lot more people have Fox versus Amazon Prime. That's true too. Don't get me wrong, but like, you have to look at what this is. Fox sells advertisements, right? They make their money on people watching the channel by advertising to you. Prime is a membership-based program. They make their money when you subscribe to them. It's kind of different. Now, they could probably run advertisements on Amazon Prime during WWE programming, but it's like the WWE network, or excuse me, Peacock with the WWE on their network. Like right now, if you go watch WWE program, there's still commercials during the pay-per-views. Prime could do that. They could be making money off of their, they could earn advertising dollars on those programs as well. It's not a bad idea. Chris Drummond, CM Punk in the ring in 2023 is mid at best. Oh, the truth hurts sometimes. I don't know, man. Like, look, I might be the only one waving the flag here. I am not the world's biggest CM Punk fan. I'm not. I like the guy, but I'm not the world's biggest CM Punk fan. But I think I think about it as a business, dollars and cents. If it makes dollars, brother, it makes sense. If people will pay to see CM Punk, and you could afford CM Punk, why wouldn't you do that? The math just seems to make sense. Is he going to be a cancer in the locker room? Look, man, I don't believe that the NWA locker room is the same as an AEW locker room. I think there's a lot more veteran leadership and there's a lot less indie dynamic to it. What's up, Carlton? How you doing, brother? Like, you can always sit in the middle, buddy. I think Mandy was laughing at me. Punk original AEW debut was insane. They had the pay-per-view hype for a TV show. Exactly. Look, I'm not saying... My honest to God opinion is this. If any company really would benefit from the CM Pack, spoiler alert, if any company would benefit from CM Punk, it would be Impact. Point, click, simple. Impact has the roster. You could have matches if Punk is a babyface coming into the company. Steve Macklin. You could have matches if he comes in as a heel. You could have matches with Josh. What's his name? Josh. You guys are gonna make me feel dumb. From the North, the former champion, Josh. If he's a babyface, he could have matches with a lot of guys on that roster. But more so than that, he brings a mainstream name to the company. Much like when Christian Cage and Kurt Angle left the WWE to join Impact in 2006, 2007, it really pushed Impact forward. And I think if CM Punk were to do that, it also would push the company forward. And with the name who literally was just popping the ratings for AEW 6 months ago, if you put him on Impact and you're Impact and say, hey, Fox, I hear you're looking for wrestling. Not only are we wrestling, but we've got this guy, CM Punk, who we know you know who he is. That could get a lot of eyeballs to it. I don't necessarily want Punk in the NWA. I feel like it would mess up the dynamic anyways. Who's he going to have good matches with? You know, like him and EC3, okay. Him and Thom Latimer, okay. You know, but like, you know, Trevor Murdoch and CM Punk isn't a match I've been clamoring for. Maybe I should, but it's not. Prime also has Freevee, which has commercials. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Medina says he hasn't watched an episode of WWE since the Benoit Memorial Show. Yeah, I haven't. I'll be honest, I don't watch a ton of WWE either, Medina. My bread and butter, honestly, is the NWA. And it's half the time I love the show, half the time I hate the show. I'm almost never indifferent to it. Occasionally I am, but that's what makes this podcast kind of fun for me to do, is we talk so much about the NWA, we talk so much about what's happening on the show, and it's usually Tuesdays. I'm very excited about the show, and then come Thursday, after watching it, I have a very unbiased, realistic interpretation of the show. And of course, with DK and Jaden, it never gets too high, never gets too low, or maybe gets pretty low. I don't know. I think Punk coming to the NWA would be epic. This would be the equivalent to Ric Flair coming to the WWF in the 90s with the World Heavyweight Championship, claiming to be the real world champion. I don't know if we get to do all that, but certainly if he came into the company, whoever's champion, whether it's EC3, if it's Thom Latimer, Chris Adonis, whatever, CM Punk would have the carte blanche to get that next title shot. And I don't know, maybe it would be hard times. Maybe it'd be hard times, daddy, where CM Punk comes into the NWA, because it obviously won't be before then, if that's even a possibility. They've already taped up until October. They've already taped to the pay-per-view, so we won't know for sure. We won't, if CM Punk signs, we won't see him in an NWA ring until like November at the earliest. So not holding my breath on that one. Seriously, who means more to wrestling than CM Punk? Dirt sheets, merchandise sales, ticket sales, notoriety, eyes on your product. I'm telling you, Steve, you're right. And Willie's right. I meant to say Josh Alexander. Couldn't think of that Alexander part. Medina says Punk is just Hulk Hogan wannabe as far as career and control of freedom to be the top dog. Hashtag Triple H was right. Carlton says Punk could be a traveling world champion for the NWA, would do big numbers. Punk loved the race and roads, and making him an NWA champion would solidify him as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And also, look, not for nothing, but why did Cody want this belt, right? Why did Cody want that belt? Look, we know why Nick Aldis wanted it, and we know why Tyrus wanted it. Why did Cody want that? To pay homage to his pops. To pay homage to the history of wrestling. Now, did they totally blackball the NWA World title in the AEW and not even acknowledge it? Yes. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't important to Cody. You go back and watch All In. I guarantee you, watch All In. Watch Cody's face when he wins that title, when he beats Nick Aldis. Oh, wow. All right. James Bell says Punk would not wrestle the Indies to promote the belt. Maybe. But maybe he might wrestle in New Japan Pro Wrestling or All Japan Pro Wrestling or Pro Wrestling Noah or some of the top tier companies like maybe Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Oh, actually, no, definitely not Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I changed that. Velocity Plays, who I don't know, Velocity. Welcome to the show, man. I don't think you've been a part of our show before. This is an NWA themed podcast. We do the pre-party every Tuesday, so thanks for jumping on. If you like the NWA, you might like the show. So subscribe, comment, but thanks for jumping in the chat. CM Punk going to the NWA will be just as big as David Arquette winning the WCW Championship. All right, Velocity, there's the door. You can go use it right now. Just kidding. I think it would be a hell of a lot more meaningful than anything Dave Arquette did. And that's not to shit on David Arquette. If you haven't seen that documentary, you can't kill David Arquette or something along those lines, check it out. It's very good. It's a very good documentary. I love the fact that he loves wrestling so much. But over here on Twitch, over here on TikTok, Squirt Gun Kelly, which is a great name, by the way, says he's going to go to the WWE. He's going to put a stake in the AEW heart. Maybe. Also, do you acknowledge the greatest WCW champion of all time, David Arquette? I paid you such kind words, man, when you walked into the chat. And this is how you repay me? I will say this, man. Arquette loved the game. He loved it with a huge passion. And I don't know, man, as a fan of the business, if someone offered me the opportunity to be a wrestler, I think I'd have jumped at it, right? Like, hey, we're going to make you a wrestler. The problem is they never really trained him to be a wrestler. Canyon on the outside showing him a few moves before the show starts isn't like a career. I'll say this, man. I got to watch David Arquette wrestle three times if you count a pay-per-view, and he wasn't bad. And who trained him was Peter Avalon and RJ, what's his name? RJ Reynolds? AEW guy. You guys know who I'm talking about. Anyways, more comments. Medina says, in all honesty, Punk would help the NWA in some way till his ego effed it all up again. Yeah, that's probably true. And that's the thing. It's kind of sad because I do feel like there could be some potential for a CM Punk. I could see where he could help the NWA. In all honesty, I could see where he could help the NWA. I just don't think long term that's a realistic option. As much as I would like it to be, I just don't think it is. Sam says people would watch just to see what Punk says. Mike says, you see the video I tagged you and others with? Them Starcade Boys video, big fancy cars. Listen to it. It should be the Alliance Guys theme. I'll work on a video for it. Hey, man, if you can get me a theme song that I don't have to pay royalties for and they are cool with working with me, man, I would very much consider it. Velocity, yeah. Arquette played in the movie and was world champion. Yeah, I mean, look, it was goofy. But I mean, look, Arquette at least loved the business. They put the belt on Vic Venom over there, and that didn't work out so well. Velocity says, if Punk goes to Impact, I want to see him and Chris Bay or him and Trey Miguel have a match. Yeah. Look, I'm a huge Chris Bay guy. I like Chris Bay. I go back to Chris Bay when he debuted for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I felt that dude had a ton of potential. They put him with Scorpio Sky, and I really felt like at some point that was going to be something a lot bigger. It just never materialized, never panned out. Of course, right around that time, Scorpio Sky got the call to go to All In AEW. So, to each his own. But I did like how they started off using Chris Bay. He was new to the sport. They put him with the right group of people. His stock continued to rise. He's one of the best junior heavyweights, I think, in the country. Him being in him signing with Impact, I think, was a great move for him and Impact. It's afforded him the opportunity to wrestle in this Bullet Club group. He's had a lot of matches with New Japan Strong, and I don't know if he's had opportunities to go to Japan. I think he has, but he's one of those guys that I feel like definitely deserves all the accolades he gets, and a guy that I want nothing but the best for. Good dude. Medina says, Arquette definitely has the passion of a wrestler. Yeah, man. And look, he doesn't have to be the greatest wrestler, but I don't fault him for wanting to be that. Like, if he grew up as a wrestling fan, hey man, we're gonna put you in the match. Hey, we're gonna put the title on you. Like, granted, he should have learned the trade a little bit, but that's what happens. Velocity, do you think Punk would do a great in MLW, or would he get packed up by Jacob Fatu? Okay, Jacob Fatu is an amazing athlete, right? Like, I've seen enough of him up close and personal and on the internet to know that he's a bad dude. I think he would be a lot better suited. I think Jacob Fatu is I don't want to say he's wasted on the indies, but I think he would be a big deal. If they tried to extend out the bloodline storyline in the WWE, he's certainly a guy that I would bring in. If I'm Billy Corgan, he's a guy that I would look at as well to bring onto that roster, onto the NWA. With that being said, I think he would do business with CM Punk, because it's an opportunity to make money. It's an opportunity to make a lot of money. And what people need to understand about Punk is whether you like him or not, he's a draw. And if you can get eyeballs on the product, whatever product it is, whether it be MLW, Impact, NWA, United Wrestling Network, Derby City, New Traditional Lucha Libre, The Crash in Tijuana, Mexico, if you can draw eyes to your product, man, I say you go for it. You go for it. Carlton says, if CM Punk travels with the NWA title to New Japan, to MLW, to Impact, he loves Bret Hart, and he could definitely defend in Calgary. He could go to AAA, Australia. This would be the greatest run as a wrestler. I mean, look, that's a lot of wishful thinking. There's no guarantee. Look, we don't even know if the man will be in the NWA, let alone a world heavyweight champion, or to do all those things. It's wishful thinking, and there's nothing wrong with that, but let's be realistic. Right now, we've got a guy who's willing to do all of that. Ethan Carter III, man. Those Carters, man. Look, EC3, I could see EC3 going to Mexico City. I could see EC3 going to Australia. I could see EC3 working those WSW shows in Australia. I could see him working AAA. I could see him working for Brett in Canada. I guess not Brett, but you know what I'm talking about. I could see him going almost anywhere. But I don't think Impact is going to bring him in. I don't think Impact is going to bring in any NWA World Champion. Medina says, what's next for Nick Aldis? I mean, look, man, that dude is still a super qualified, talented wrestler. I guess his loop with the WWE might have come to a close. But I feel like he still has a lot of mileage in the tank, and although it will not be in the NWA, I could definitely see Nick Aldis, working with MLW. I could see him making a return to Impact. I know that he's supposed to be doing the WrestleCade show where him and Davey Boy Smith will be working against each other. Velocity just wrote something. I'll put it on the screen in a minute. It made me laugh. CM Punk for Micro Wrestling World Champion. That's not even the funniest thing he said today. Willie Bowen says CM Punk draws flies. James Bell, does EC3 retain the title after the next pay-per-view? It's a great question. We don't even for sure know his opponent yet. This is what made me laugh. Whatever happened to EC1 and EC2? Stupid. It's funny, but it's stupid. Velocity. Medina says, you're right, wishful thinking. Yeah, I mean, like, look, and that's the thing, right? What I do know is that tonight we have a new episode of NWA Power, and I'll be honest, man, I'm kind of excited about these new episodes. The look is good. I was there live. I know what happens. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You're going to watch it in about 25 minutes anyways, but we've got some very interesting dynamics tonight. Your women's world champion will be in the house. You've got the world junior heavyweight champion in the house. You've got the world's heavyweight champion in the house. You've got a legend in the house. It's weird saying that so much. And then Zicky Dice, your former TV champion, in the house. And, they are getting ready to crown a new television champion. I mean, they have not yet expressed that there's going to be a new TV champion. But if you're reading the tea leaves and they're showing Zicky Dice talking about this TV title opportunity, at the very least, you got the world champion talking about Thom Latimer. Although they haven't come out and said it, I do feel like they're going to be having Thom Latimer cash in that World's Heavyweight Championship shot because of the Lucky 7 series, which means you're crowning a new TV champion. And on tonight's episode of Power, you have Judias, you have Gaagz the Gymp, you have Dak Draper, who I'm excited to see, and you got Zicky Dice, Daddy, all competing for an opportunity to become the next TV champion. Now, the winner of this 4-way match will be put into the finals of this TV title eliminator, I guess. And until they officially announce it as a TV title opportunity, we're just going to have to go that it's just a number one contender spot, I guess. But I'm excited about that match and that I can't wait for everyone to see it. It's interesting, Judias and Gaagz the Gymp both used to be managed by Father James Mitchell, and it doesn't seem like that is a thing anymore. Of course, Zicky Dice returning to the NWA is exciting to me. As somebody, I think Zicky Dice is a good person for the NWA to use. I feel like he brings a lot of charisma. He has a cult-like following on the internet. He is definitely a guy that I think is going to make a lot of sense. Oh, that's a good question, and I'll address that on our YouTube channel as well as here on TikTok. Wonder if Tim and Velvet are with the company, but it has a different feel. So as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, Tim Storm is still very much a member of the NWA family. I have not heard, read, or anything that indicated anything different. Velvet Sky did announce that she was departing the company. It seemed very amicable as she made the announcement on Twitter last week. She thanked William Patrick Corgan for her time in the NWA. She thanked Tim and Joe for the help with commentary. I would not be surprised if she ended up doing commentary or of some sort for Impact, or maybe in some role with Impact going forward. But as far as we know, she's now no longer a part of the NWA family, which is, I guess in the grand scheme, she'll always be part of that family. But good for her. Take advantage of whatever opportunities come ahead of you. I'm excited to see what Danny Deals does with Joe Galley on commentary. We know that's the broadcasting team we'll have at least to the pay-per-view, and we'll see where it goes from there. Steve G says, wow, both Valentine and Sky gone. Steve, pump the brakes on May. She's not gone. May will be back. May May made it perfectly clear that she missed the taping. She has other commitments. Part of her, I don't know for certain, but I think it had to do with Playboy and some of the charities that Playboy is involved with. But I think she'll be back. She said she'll be back, unless Billy is going to fire her later. Not that Sam De La Renta was bad or anything. I just feel like May, that's still May's spot. Excuse me. Let me get some. I'm all clearing my throat over here. I don't need to do that. Have Debbie. What do you think of AEW having Dennis Rodman on Nitro? Look, Dennis Rodman, from the bygone era of Nitro, yes, I think it's kind of funny. It pays homage to WCW, whether we like it or not. AEW still has some roots with the fact that they're on Turner, the fact that they used some of their broadcasting members worked for WCW. It's always going to get those comparisons. And Rodman is still beloved in Chicago. I mean, 2 back-to-back three-peats, right? They did it. They three-peated. I mean, he'll always be a made dude in Chicago. So it doesn't surprise me. It'd be interesting to see if they ever used him in the ring, though. But, I mean, God, he's got to be pushing 60 by now, right? Probably not going to happen. Yeah, but Dina, look, man, I appreciate you jumping on. You are the exact reason why I live streamed before on TikTok, because we're trying to build this audience here, man. And if you enjoy this podcast, if you enjoy this, content, check out our Discord. There should be, you should be able to find the Discord in our link on the show description. If it doesn't work, send me a DM and I can send you an invite. I guess you have to update it all the time, and I haven't updated it in a while, but try it out first. And yeah, we like this community. There is Discord. I want to know what you guys think about wrestling, and I want you guys to hear what I have to think about it. Look, my wife would go nuts if I didn't have an outlet to talk wrestling with you guys. I'd probably get divorced. So you guys are saving my marriage in some regards. So it's all good. Let's see. Sam says Billy kind of announced Latimer versus EC3 at one of those 75 post shows. I didn't know that. I guess I didn't know that. Good. That's the matchup I want anyways. If EC3 is going to take the place of Nick Aldis, if he's going to do everything that I hope he's going to do, he needs to sharpen his steel by facing other steel. Lord Crew, badass, right? Badass. Thom Latimer, badass, right? I don't want EC3 resting on his laurels. I want him to go out there and cement his legacy. And much like Nick Aldis, I want him to travel the world, take the 10 pounds of gold everywhere. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen next. But I'm excited. Carlton says, if Latimer faces EC3 and loses, what do you do with him afterwards? That's a great question, man. And I don't know. That's a great question. Latimer is a guy that I don't know what. Do you put him into a feud with a Thrillbilly? I don't know. Maybe it's time to give him a break. Maybe it's time to take him off TV for a while. Because he's only been successful as a TV champion and as a tag team champion. Maybe it's time to put him in a tag team. Maybe he and Adonis could go back to wrestling strictly business again. But I'm not exactly sure. Retro says AEW also uses NWA and WCW nostalgia. It creates validity. It creates, like you said, nostalgia is a very powerful element. And despite what Billy says, that's why he bought the NWA, is because it has that nostalgia. I know he doesn't want to be known as that old wrestling company, but you don't use the initials NWA if you don't want people to think automatically about history, tradition, and respect. That NWA celebrating 75 years, the only company older in the sport of pro wrestling is CMLL, who celebrates their 90th anniversary, I think this weekend. So for what it's worth, man, the NWA will always be connected to that history and tradition. Rodman looks very exhausted. Yeah, I mean, he's an older dude, man. Would you ever like to see NWA and Impact come together as one in the future? That's a tough one. My only hesitation is I don't want NWA to be lost in somebody else's identity, right? Like if Anthem came and said, hey, Billy, we want to buy NWA and we're going to put you in top. And you're going to still be part owner, but we're going to merge the two companies under the NWA banner. I mean, now you got my ears going. You got my brain circulating. You're moving the gray matter. It's wiggling, right? I'm getting scrunchies on my brain. That would make a lot of sense to me because I don't feel like, look, although the Impact name has been around for quite a long time and a lot longer than a lot of people thought, the NWA still has the value to me. And if Billy were to somehow incorporate with Anthem and Impact and it was some sort of major conglomerate, sure. But I wouldn't want to see it be the other way. I don't want Impact to buy the 10 pounds of gold. I don't want Impact to own the NWA. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want the NWA to disappear. Jay, are you going to go to the Palmdale event? No, my friend, I will not, because on the 23rd, I will be in Tijuana, Mexico. I'm going to check out the AAA that will be coming to the auditorium, the Auditorio de Tijuana. Sorry, my Spanish isn't great. Lo siento, mi español es no muy bueno. But I do want to see there's going to be stars from MLW and stars from United Wrestling Network as a Slice Boogie and our pal Danny Limelight will be in Mexico, and they'll be in a matchup with Juicy Thanu and a couple other guys, more luchador-based guys. So, and that's going to be a AAA show. I'm very excited about that one. What about Chris Adonis? I haven't heard much about him. I mean, I think Adonis is still kind of he's there, right? But he's also on the back burner. You know, he lost to Tyrus. He teamed with Tyrus. They lost. What do you do with him going forward? Well, I'll tell you this, man. He is at the TV tapings. You will see Adonis, if not next week, the week after. But he hasn't left. Sexy Jesus, as our friend Polka Dot Pam calls him, will still be around. You don't have to worry. Yes, Velocity. Latimer is known as Bram in Impact, but he has definitely grown up a lot since those days. You might not even recognize him as the same wrestler anymore. Dave Scooby says, if Ohio Valley and NWA can coexist and play nice, Freya the Slayer versus Max for the women's TV title. Scooby, I know you were listening to Busted Open last week when Poyo was on the show. And Poyo had mentioned that Max might be taking that title to Stardom and even to the Netherlands. So that women's television title might become a big world title for the NWA very, very soon. I don't think it's awesome that AEW does it. Oh, excuse me. You do think it's awesome that AEW acknowledges the history of the world of wrestling. Yeah, I mean, look, they own Ring of Honor. That library will not fade into the night. Like, a lot of people thought WWE was going to buy that library, which I could see why. But now, even with the merger with TKO, where with UFC and the WWE now becoming TKO, they don't really need that library as much as they once might have. That's a good point. Retro, and it's funny because you're retro. Retro says the NWA Power is presented like an 80s wrestling TV show. And then Luthez, baby. That's right, man. Our pal Luthez, the god of pro wrestling. Other matches that we're supposed to see tonight, I did mention the aforementioned Women's World Champion, Kenzie Paige will be defending her title. No, excuse me, it's a non-title match against Samantha Starr. And I think that'll be interesting. Samantha Starr, more from her. I feel like she's kind of green. She's a very good wrestler, but I feel she's still kind of green. I want to see more from her. Also tonight, we've got this match. I'm already going to tell you, you're not going to like it. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a match you're going to be like, yes, I love this match. It's going to be the junior heavyweight tag team match that's going to put Ricky Morton as your special referee. you're going to have Homicide and Joe Alonzo, who they fought each other in basically a hardcore match at the 75th anniversary show, are now going to be teaming together to take on Colby Corino and Koa Laxamana with Khalees. Koa and Colby have nothing in common, right? Except for that they're both junior heavyweights. But there's no connection there. And they're taking on two guys who are fighting each other with Ricky freaking Morton, who has no connection to any of these people. It is exactly as terrible as it sounds. I don't know how they're going to make that out. But one match I'm actually really hoping you guys get to see, because I was blown away by it and I enjoyed it very much, was the former U.S. Tag Team Champion, AJ Cazana, right? That Cazana family, big old Haas, doing big old Haas things when he steps in the ring with Jax Dane. It's interesting because obviously you guys haven't heard of it. Anthony Anderson has left the NWA. He requested a contract during the pay-per-view. The discussion did not lead to him having a contract, and he said if he didn't have a contract, he walks. So he walks. New tag team champions were crowned at the 75th anniversary show in Talos and Daisy Kills. AJ doesn't have a tag team partner, so AJ steps in the ring with another tennis gentleman, Jax. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you got two Hosses doing Hoss things for that fight tonight. So that's basically POWERRR. Now we're just a few minutes away, so I'm going to wrap the show up. Thank you guys for being here this week. Willie says, I don't want to see EC3 versus Rolando Black. I don't think you're going to see that. It's Rolando Freeman, but I get what you're going with. And Velocity says, I remember months ago when Billy Corgan wanted to sell the NWA to the WWE or AEW, so it could be a developmental brand for either company. I don't think that's what he wanted. I think he wanted to be like how Ohio Valley was a developmental for the WWE, or how Ohio Valley was developmental for Impact, but that never was owned by that company. But I do appreciate you guys checking us out each and every Tuesday. If you like the show, guys, Velocity and Medina and anybody else who might have just discovered the show today, hey man, if you like it, my brother will be here tomorrow. That'll be Dave Scooby. That'll be Timmy Thunder, and of course Jeremy. They'll be the other Alliance guys, and they're going to have a show very similar to this where we talk wrestling. They do a little bit more emphasis on the United Wrestling Network. They do emphasis on Major League Wrestling, and they talk NWA. But if you enjoy this format, I think you would enjoy their show as well. Make sure them a watch. Will be on this channel at this time tomorrow, 3:05 on the West Coast, 6:05 Eastern. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Again, appreciate you so much for being here. Until next time, I will see you at the match. Thanks for checking out the Pre-Party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. You should hit that subscribe button and join our community. I also want to remind you that we recap NWA POWERRR every Thursday at 8 p.m. in the live stream. We try to stay social, so find us at the Alliance blog. And until next time, we are the Alliance. Hit end session, so now I hit end stream. Bye, guys. Oh, man.